Hello everyone. I'm going to present you today our work titled Towards Safer Collaboration, Closing the Loop on Position and Stiffness. I'm the presenter, Maja Trumic, and this work is done in collaboration between the University of Palermo and the University of Belgrade. So, we consider soft articulated robots. These robots have flexible joints and rigid links. Some of the most famous examples can be seen here on the right side of the slide. More precisely, we consider robots that have antagonistic variable stiffness actuators and whose compliance is embedded, which means that flexibility is intentionally introduced in the joints of these robots. Variable stiffness actuation allows these robots to change not only their position, but also the stiffness in the real time. The type of actuation can be either pneumatic, like in the case of Kosta, who has McKibben muscles, or it can be electric, where DC motors are used to power the actuator, as is the case of QB-move actuators. The paradigm is based on closing the loop on both the position and stiffness. The motivation comes from the wish to ensure safe collaboration between humans and robots. And in that case, it is necessary to take into account the danger index. This index is equal to a product of relative distance, relative velocity between human and robot, then robot inertia and robot stiffness. It tells us that it is important to be aware of the robot stiffness throughout the task. The pioneering work in this field used the feedback linearization approach. So by closing the loop on both the position and stiffness, our objective is to achieve the desired dynamics of position and stiffness in robot joints. Therefore, here we propose to use the decoupled adaptive control approach. This approach actually achieves the simultaneous and independent control of position and stiffness. It is advantageous since it is equipped with a practical implementability, and therefore it does not need joint acceleration measurements, for example. Moreover, it is robust to the uncertain dynamic parameters. Here you can see that when the loop is closed on position and stiffness, actually we impose the dynamics on stiffness, compared to the case where the stiffness is controlled in the open loop. By leaning on the decoupling property and by impose the dynamics of stiffness, it is also worth noticing that the change of stiffness does not affect the position of a robot. And that fact is important for the safe collaboration between robots and humans. I mentioned that we close the loop on stiffness. However, stiffness is not a measurable variable. That means that there is no sensor which can give us information on stiffness. Therefore, we have to rely on stiffness estimators. Those estimators are separated in two main groups: link side-based observers and motor side-based observers. The former approach is a non-invasive approach since it does not require the measurement of the commanded torque, but on the other hand, it relies heavily on the exact knowledge of robot dynamic parameters. The later approach is an invasive approach. It needs an information about the commanded torque to motors, but it relies only on DC motor dynamic parameters. Here you can see the example that by using stiffness estimator, this variable can be well estimated in real time. So, to conclude, our methodology actually proposes merging of decoupled adaptive control that is used to control the position and stiffness of a robot, and motor side observers, which provide the stiffness information. By using the motor side observers, we actually can assume that uncertainty can still exist on the link side. But in that case, the decoupled adaptive control can deal with those uncertainties, while the stiffness estimator based on motor side approach only requires the knowledge of motor dynamic parameters. So, thank you for your attention, and see you later.